Absolute poverty refers to a condition where a person does not have the minimum amount of income needed to meet the minimum requirements for one or more basic living needs over an extended period of time. This includes things like food, adults who have a body mass index that is below 17, or children who are over 3 standard deviations below a certain age/weight/height criteria. Safe drinking water, having to use surface water, i.e., rivers or streams, or having to spend at least 30 minutes to collect water from some source. Sanitation facilities, lack of access to any type of toilet facility. Health, lack of access to any type of health care, including immunizations, prenatal care, or treatment for serious illness. Shelter, kids who live in places where there are more than 4 people to a room, adults who live in places with more than 3 people to a room, or adults and children who live in places with no floors. Education, school-age children who have not in the past or are not currently in school, or adults who have not attended school and cannot read or write. Information, lack of access to any type of media, including radio, television, or computer. Access to services, lack of access to schools, health services, etc. Living in absolute poverty is harmful and can endanger your life. The standards set for absolute poverty are the same across countries. When it was established in 1990, the World Bank set a global absolute poverty line as living on less than $1 a day. The causes of absolute poverty include world population increase. This leads to problems with inadequate housing and food shortage. Natural disasters, i.e., tsunamis and hurricanes. They can destroy entire communities, cause a shortage of food and medication, and damage infrastructure. Conflict. Instead of spending money on education, agriculture, or health, countries in wars spend most of their money on weapons and machinery. Entire countries can be destroyed by advanced weaponry, and many citizens are forced to flee and become refugees. Debt. An example of this is Zambia, an African country that spends 34 times more repaying debt than it did on education. As a result, many Zambians did not get the education that they needed, resulting in absolute poverty. Child labor. In many of the poorest countries, children are forced to work to help bring in income to their family and miss out on going to school. By the time that they are adults, they have not learned how to read or write. A 24-year-old female who has never attended school, is illiterate, and has no access to any type of media communications. A boy who shares a room with his 5 brothers, who all sleep on the floor together and have no toilet in their home. Adults that have to walk 10 miles to a well to collect water and have body mass indexes of 15. A family that lives in a remote village and have no access to health services, schools, or legal services. Absolute poverty is the condition where people do not have enough income to meet basic needs, such as access to services and sanitation facilities. When it was first established by the World Bank in 1990, the absolute poverty line was measured to be living on less than $1 per day. Absolute poverty is caused by debt, world population increases, natural disasters, conflicts, and child labor. An example of absolute poverty includes a 12-year-old boy who has never been to see a doctor or attended school.